The cafeteria was buzzing that afternoon, laughter bouncing off the tiled walls, the scent of fries and coffee hanging thick in the air. But for Emily Carter, time froze the moment those words hit her chest like a knife. "You'd be pretty if you lost weight." He said it so casually, like a passing comment, like her heart wasn't something fragile, like he hadn't just crushed the quiet confidence she'd spent years building piece by piece. She smiled, just a small, broken, polite smile, the kind that hides pain so deep it almost feels familiar. Then she turned away, tray trembling in her hands, her throat tight, her stomach hollow. Behind her, the laughter continued. No one noticed how her eyes glistened, or how she walked faster than usual, trying to get out of the noise, out of the light, out of the world for a while. If you believe kindness can heal more than cruelty can destroy, if you still believe people deserve second chances and that words matter, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of humanity's quiet strength. Emily Carter was 25, living in a small apartment in Portland, Oregon. She worked as a graphic designer for a marketing firm, quiet and diligent, the kind of person who noticed when others were hurting but rarely spoke of her own pain. Her life was simple: morning coffee, a bus ride with earbuds in, long hours at a screen, and lonely dinners watching sitcom reruns. She wasn't unhappy exactly, just invisible. Growing up, she'd been the nice one. Teachers loved her, friends came to her for help, but boys? They never looked her way, not once. In high school, she'd spent years waiting for someone to see beyond her round cheeks and soft belly, but no one ever did. They always looked through her. And after a while, she started doing it too. She stopped seeing herself as someone worth looking at. That comment in the cafeteria wasn't the first time someone had said something like that, but it was the one that finally cracked her open. Because it came from Ryan Matthews, the man she'd secretly liked for months. The charming coworker with ocean blue eyes and a smile that could melt anyone. The guy who held doors open, made everyone laugh, and who she thought, just maybe, saw her differently. Until that day. She remembered the moment clearly. She was laughing at something he said about their boss's obsession with fonts, and for a second, she felt beautiful. Then he'd leaned back in his chair, eyes scanning her up and down, and chuckled, "You know, Emily, you'd be really pretty if you lost a little weight." The air left her lungs, the smile died before it even faded. She managed a small laugh, because what else could she do? The world teaches women to laugh off humiliation like it's a joke they just didn't get. That night, she stood in front of the mirror. The same mirror that had seen her cry as a teenager. The same one she'd stood before on her college graduation morning trying to believe she looked enough. She stared at her reflection for a long time. Her fingers grazed her arms, her hips, the curve of her stomach, and for the first time she whispered, "Maybe I am not enough." For weeks, she withdrew. She skipped lunch, forced smiles, pretended she was fine. She started running in the mornings, obsessively watching the scale like it held her worth. But something felt wrong. She wasn't doing it for herself. She was doing it to erase herself. One Saturday, she visited her mother. Linda Carter was warm, silver-haired, with kind eyes that had seen too many storms. She looked at Emily quietly as they had coffee. "You've been quiet lately," she said softly. "What's wrong?" Emily hesitated. Then, in a trembling voice, she told her. About Ryan. About what he said. About how it replayed in her mind like a cruel echo. Her mother reached across the table, held her hand and said, "Sweetheart, never let someone's blindness make you question your own light." That night, those words stayed with her. Blindness and light. Maybe she'd spent too long waiting for someone to see her, when all along, she'd never truly seen herself. Something changed in Emily after that. It wasn't sudden. It was quiet, subtle, real. She stopped running to punish herself and started walking to clear her mind. She cooked because she loved it. She dressed in colors she liked, not ones that hid her body. She stopped following fitness influencers who made her feel broken and started reading books about self-compassion. And slowly, she rediscovered pieces of herself she'd buried long ago. The way she laughed loud when she found something funny. The way she hummed old songs while cooking. The way she found beauty in small things, sunlight on her plants, rain on her window. the smell of her sketchbook's paper. Months passed. She didn't become thinner. She became freer. At work, Ryan barely noticed the difference at first, but others did. Emily's designs grew bolder, her voice firmer in meetings. She smiled, not shyly, but openly. When she laughed now, it wasn't to please anyone. It was real. Then one day, the team was assigned a project that paired Emily and Ryan together. He approached her, half smiling. "Guess we're teammates again." She nodded politely. They worked late for weeks, sharing notes, ideas, deadlines. Ryan noticed how confident she'd become. The girl who once blushed and stumbled over words now spoke with quiet authority. She wasn't trying to impress him anymore, and that somehow drew him in more than anything else. One evening, as they were leaving the office, Ryan said softly, "Hey, you've changed." Emily looked at him for a moment. "I grew up," he smiled awkwardly. "No, I mean, you seem happier, more confident." She nodded. "I am. I finally stopped trying to fit into other people's version of pretty." Ryan hesitated. "I don't know if you remember, but I do," she interrupted gently. "You said I'd be pretty if I lost weight." He swallowed, guilt flickering across his face. "Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. It was stupid." Emily looked at him, her expression calm but unreadable. "You were right about one thing," she said. "I would be prettier if I lost the need for people like you to define what that means." And with that, she smiled. Not sadly this time, but proudly. Then she walked away, her confidence echoing louder than any apology he could ever offer. Life moved on. Seasons changed. Emily started her own freelance design studio from home. It wasn't easy, but it was hers. She worked hard, built a small client base, and surrounded herself with people who saw her for her mind, not her measurements. One day, while attending a networking event, she met someone. Daniel. He wasn't the kind of man who said all the right things. He was the kind who listened. When he laughed, it was genuine. When he complimented her, it wasn't about her looks. It was about how her ideas lit up a room. They talked for hours that night about art, life, and the strange beauty of being human. For the first time in years, she didn't feel small. She felt seen. Daniel wasn't perfect, but he was kind, and that was enough. Months later, as they walked by the river on a chilly evening, Daniel stopped, looked at her, and said, "You have the most beautiful smile. It's not just on your face, it's in your eyes." Tears filled Emily's eyes, because for the first time she believed it. A year after that painful cafeteria moment, Emily stood in front of a mirror again, the same one she'd once stared into with self-loathing. This time she didn't measure herself, she simply looked. She saw strength where she once saw flaws. She saw a survivor, not a shape. She saw a woman who had learned the hardest truth of all, that beauty isn't something you earn, it's something you own. She picked up her phone and posted a photo of herself smiling with the caption, "To every girl who's ever been told she's not enough, stop waiting for permission to love yourself." Within hours, comments flooded in from women around the world. "I needed this. Thank you. This made me cry." And as Emily sat there reading them, she realized something powerful. Pain can break you, but it can also become the very thing that connects you to others. Because sometimes healing isn't loud, it's quiet. It's in the moments you choose yourself again and again and again. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us to be gentle with ourselves and with others. Before we end, I want to ask you something. What's one kind thing someone said, or you wish someone had said, to you when you were struggling? Write it down in the comments. Let's make this comment section a place of healing and love. Emily's story isn't just about words, it's about recovery, about learning that what others say doesn't define who you are, about understanding that pretty isn't a size. It's a presence, a light, a spirit. And sometimes, the most beautiful thing a woman can do is simply smile sadly, walk away, and start loving herself louder than the world ever tried to shame her. Because she finally learned she was never too much of anything. She was exactly enough.